Welcome to the Bulk TGP Gallery Importer. This is the page where you push large batches of galleries into your ComusTumbz site in a single submission. Anywhere from a handful of test rows up to thousands of entries from a sponsor feed or a legacy database dump. Instead of clicking through a one-at-a-time form, you paste delimited rows, tell the importer which column means what, preview the first few rows to confirm the parsing, and kick off a background runner that inserts every gallery into the TBL TGP table, fetches each thumbnail, links models, and reports live progress back to your browser. To open it, log into your admin panel and navigate to domain.com/cte/admin/comus.add.php, or from the admin menu, expand the import menu and choose Bulk Gallery Importer. When the page loads, you'll see a green gradient banner with a stack of images icon and the title Gallery Bulk Import. Below the banner is a breadcrumb reading dashboard/gallery/bulk import and a one-line subtitle. The page is one long form broken into 4 stacked sections: field mapping playlists, field mapping configuration, import data, and import guidelines. At the bottom is a single green preview import button that takes you to a confirmation screen before any database write happens. Section 1, Field Mapping Playlists. The first section is the playlist bar. It sits at the top so you can load a saved preset before mapping columns by hand. The header reads Field Mapping Playlists with a list icon, and below it are 3 controls in a horizontal row. On the left is a Load Existing Playlists dropdown. It opens with a placeholder reading Select a Playlist, followed by every playlist you've saved before, pulled from TBL field mappings. Picking one auto-submits the form and reloads the page with that playlist column mapping, delimiter, force category, force model, accept value, thumb path, and every checkbox restored exactly as saved. In the middle is a playlist name text field, where you type a name to save the current configuration as a new playlist. On the right are 4 buttons. A gray New clears the form. A green Save writes the current configuration under the name you typed, with a warning if the name field is empty. The drop-down handles loading via its auto-submit behavior. A red Delete removes the currently selected playlist after a confirmation prompt. A few things to know. Playlists are stored as JSON in TBL field mappings. If you load one saved by an older version, you'll see a green Loaded Legacy Playlist confirmation, meaning the column mapping was restored but the option flags weren't, because that older format didn't store them. Saving with a name that's already taken raises a red error. Pick a new name or delete the old playlist first. Section 2, Field Mapping Configuration. The second section is the field mapper. This is where you tell the importer how to interpret each comma-separated column in the data you're about to paste. The header reads Field Mapping Configuration with a table columns icon. Below it is a status line reading Columns Mapped with a live counter, and on the right an Add Column button with a plus icon. Below the header is a stack of mapping rows. Each row represents one column of your incoming data. A column number on the left, a drop-down of supported field types in the middle, a one-line description on the right that updates live as you change the drop-down, and a small red minus button at the far right. The drop-down offers 30 options. The big ones: URL is the full gallery URL including HTTP or HTTPS. Category is the category name, created on the fly if missing from TBL categories. Description is the gallery description, with no delimiter character inside. NPIX is the picture count. Vote is 1 to 10, where 1 is most popular. Thumb.jpg is the thumbnail URL. Keywords are space separated. Hash is the dedupe hash. Date is 12 digits. Year, month, day, hour, minute. Status is the per gallery status, overridable by except below. Thumb source X, Y, W, H, and URL describe the master crop. Has video, explicit, error 404, and reviewed are 0 or 1 flags. Sponsor, code, title, description 2, path as file, and alt thumb fill in the rest. The remaining options: clicks, click periods, click power, and rating, seed traffic and rating values. N/A means ignore this column. And model is comma-separated names that populate TBL gallery models. The Add Column button adds a new mapping row, capped at 30. A 31st attempt pops an alert reading, maximum of 30 columns supported. The red minus deletes a row. If you delete the last one, the page auto-inserts a fresh row mapped to URL, so you always have at least one column. Row order must match column order in your data. Row 1 maps to the first column of your paste, row 2 to the second, and so on. If your CSV has 8 columns but you've only set up 6 mapping rows, the last 2 columns of every line are silently ignored. Section 3. Import data. The third section is where the actual data goes. The header reads Import Data with a file import icon. Just under the header is a yellow example box headed Example Format with a sample comma-separated row in monospace, showing the order URL, category, description, picture count, vote, thumb file name, a long run of empty fields, and a model name at the end. Use this as a template. Your column mapping in Section 2 must match the order of values in your paste. Below the example box is a wide gallery data text area labeled Gallery Data, 1 entry per line, 8 rows tall, monospace, with a placeholder reading, paste your CSV rows here. 1 gallery per line. Quotes, single quotes, and backslashes are stripped on the way in. Angle brackets become underscores. You don't need to escape HTML characters. Below the text area is a row of 3 smaller fields. The first is a narrow delimiter text input that defaults to a comma. Change it to a semicolon, a pipe, or any single character if your data uses something different. The help text below the field reminds you to type the literal token, open curly brace tab close curly brace, if your data is tab delimited. The page expands that token into a real tab character at parse time. The second field is or use CSV file, server path. If your data is too large to paste, say a 100 megabyte sponsor feed already uploaded to the server, type the absolute or relative server path here, and the importer will read the file directly instead of using the text area. Leave it blank to use the text area contents. The third field is thumb path, prefix for column 6. If your thumbnail file names are bare, like tn001.jpg, and they all live at a common base URL, type that base here. The importer prepends this prefix to every value in the thumb.jpg column. Below those 3 fields is a row of options in 3 groups. On the left is a stack of 5 checkboxes. Fast Scan skips the per URL HTTP check that verifies each gallery is reachable. Leave it off when you want the importer to confirm each URL returns a non-error status. Turn it on for speed when you trust the source. Check Dupes runs a global dedupe query against TBL/TGP. If the URL or hash already exists anywhere, the row is rejected with a duplicate log line. Within category narrows dedupe scope, so the same URL is allowed in different categories. CopyMasters 2 pulls down the master source thumbnail in addition to the crop display thumbnail. Resize Thumbs sends fetched thumbnails through the resizer pipeline instead of saving them as is. In the middle is the Accept dropdown. Approved forces every imported gallery live immediately. Pending forces every gallery into the moderation queue. Don't change honors whatever value came in from the status column, defaulting to pending if empty. On the right are 2 more dropdowns. Force category overrides the category for every row. Normal honors the data's category column. No category sets it empty. And below those is every category from TBL categories in alphabetical order. Picking one applies that category to every row in bulk. Force model works the same way for model linkage. Normal honors the data's model column. No model leaves galleries unlinked. And below those is every active model from TBL models. Picking a model name links every imported gallery to that single performer. Handy for batch importing one model's full archive. At the bottom of Section 3 is a single green Preview Import button with an eye icon. Clicking it does not write anything to the database. It submits the form to the preview screen. Section 4. Import Guidelines. The fourth section is the Help panel, a soft green strip below the form labeled Import Guidelines with an info icon. It's read only, just 5 bullet reminders. Playlists save mappings and all options together. The delimiter field accepts the open curly brace TAB close curly brace token for tab delimited data. Choose between global and within category dedupe. The model column expects exact names, comma separated, with forced model overriding the data, and thumbnails can be HTTP or local paths with optional masters and the resize flow supported. The preview screen. Clicking Preview Import submits the form and reloads into the preview view. You'll see a green banner with an eye icon, the title Gallery Import Preview, and a subline reading Verify your data below, then confirm to import. Below the banner is a 6-column table titled Column 1 through Column 6 showing the first 10 rows of your data, parsed with your chosen delimiter. This is your sanity check. If the columns line up with your field mapping, you're good. If column 3 is showing up where you expected column 4, you have an off by 1 error in your mapping or a stray delimiter character in a description. Behind the scenes, the preview screen also writes 3 files to c-t/admin/temp, one for the raw paste, one for the serialized column mapping, and one for the JSON options bundle. These are what the runner reads when you click Confirm. At the bottom are 2 buttons. A gray Go Back returns to the form with your data and mappings intact. A green Confirm and Start Import kicks off the actual database writes. The progress screen. Clicking Confirm and Start Import takes you to the live progress screen. You'll see a green banner with a cogs icon and the title Processing Gallery Import. The subtitle warns, please do NOT close this window until complete. The runner streams results back through repeated AJAX polls. If the data files from preview are missing, you'll see a red error reading Import Data Not Found. Please go back and try again. Below the banner is a striped green progress bar updating roughly twice a second, with a status string below reading Processed X of Y. Below the status are 3 stat cards, a blue-edged Galleries Added with a live counter, a green-edged Thumb Saved tracking successful thumbnail downloads, and a yellow-edged Thumb Failures tracking download errors. All 3 update in real time as the runner advances. Below the stat cards is a scrolling log panel showing the most recent runner messages. Batch markers like Batch 0 to 24 begin, rejection lines like Rejected, Duplicate, HTTP failures like Bad URL, HTTP 404, and database errors verbatim. The runner processes rows and batches of 25 for memory safety and writes a complete log line summarizing the totals at the end. At the bottom are 2 action buttons useful once the run finishes. A gray Admin Home returns you to the dashboard. A green New Import reloads the importer for a fresh batch. How the runner actually works. When the progress page loads, the browser fires a hidden AJAX call with the parameter run. That endpoint is the import worker. It calls Ignore User Abort, clears the time limit, opens the 3 temp files, and loops through your lines in batches of 25, sanitizing input, dedupe checking against TBL-TGP, optionally fetching each gallery URL if fast scan is off, inserting a row, fetching the thumbnail, and writing model link rows to TBL gallery models. After each row, it updates a JSON progress snapshot. The browser pulls a second endpoint, status, every 500 milliseconds, and paints the progress bar and stat cards from that snapshot until the runner sets its done flag. A few practical notes. Always run preview before confirm. The runner refuses to start without the 3 temp files preview writes. Watch the first 30 seconds of the progress log for unexpected bad URL or DB error lines. If your source data has a systemic problem like the wrong delimiter, you'll see it immediately and can stop the browser before the runner gets too far. Galleries Added is the authoritative count, but a quick TBL-TGP sanity query after the run never hurts. If your run finishes with thumb failures, those galleries are still in the database. Only the thumbnail download failed, and you can refetch missing thumbnails from the gallery moderation tools later. If the runner log ends with a PHP error or fatal line, the runner crashed mid-batch. Rows already inserted are committed, but the rest of the batch was not processed, and you'll need to re-import the unprocessed lines. That's the bulk gallery importer. 4 sections, playlists, field mapping, import data, and guidelines, plus a preview screen and a live progress screen. Save your column mapping as a playlist the first time so you don't have to redo it for the next sponsor feed. Run preview, eyeball the table, click confirm, and watch the green progress bar climb while the runner handles dedupe, thumbnails, and model linking in the background.